Great to see you, Karan, again on this webinar. Vinayak, fantastic. So do come down at Lonavala. It will be great to see each one of you personally. Hi all, this is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome again to the Elliott Wave News channel by wavestrategy.com, a learning series. Also, you can find a lot of videos and webinars on Ashish Kyal tradinggurukul.com, where all the videos, webinars, everything is hosted at one place. So welcome again to this Friday at 4, and it's going to be a fun time for next 30 minutes, 20 minutes that I'm going to talk about the markets. Yes, it's a holiday, so you can see me in the casual, relaxed, enjoying the day. A lot of things going on. By the way, I'm speaking tomorrow at Refinitiv Sessions webinar, which is for 2 hours. In case you would like to join that session, you can simply send across a note and my team will add you on the chat. Maybe you can do that. I'm also going to speak at CMT Summit, which is happening on 10th and 11th of October. I would highly recommend anyone and everyone over here to join me on that summit. It's an honor. I'm going to share the platform with Steve Neeson. I'm sure if you study candlestick, you might know who Steve Neeson is. If you know technical analysis, you might know who Steve Neeson is. So you do join me there. It's going to be there. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is also going to be there. So it's an honor for me to be speaking in that session where I'm going to share podium with who's who of the market. So that's what we are going to do. And if you want to share, I'm just going to share across how to do that very quickly. If you want to attend that program, you can simply go. Okay, the best way to do that is you can simply go to my Twitter handle and possibly if you go to @Kyal Ashish, I've just now tweeted, if you look at it, just now tweeted about that CMT program. You can go there and you can use the code AshishK2020. If you use this code AshishK2020, you will get, I think, 20% off on what we are doing. So I am a volunteer leader who is helping the association to spread awareness in India and across, and we are doing a lot of things with regulations. We are getting in touch with the regulators also to gain credence and credibility for traders and for technical analyst practitioners, because we as a requires that attention, and we are the people who are helping making the market, maybe indirectly, but we help people offload their stakes as well. So trading fraternity in India should get the due respect and recognition. And if someone is a CMT, which is a chartered market technician, and that's a 3 entire years of program that you have to go through a rigorous process, and that if you are a CMT, then if we can work out something, that would be fantastic. So let's see how it goes. But the summit is on 10th and 11th of October. Do ensure you join me there. It's a fantastic summit, huge lineup of speakers going to be there, and you can possibly use the code Ashish K2020, and if you do that, you get the much needed 20-25% 20% off is what I understand. So do ensure you join there and get yourself amused by the insights of Steve Neeson, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, and who's who of the markets. So do that. Before I proceed, another major announcement: we did Master of Cycles, which was fantastic. So we did Master of Cycles, and that session is done now. Now we are progressing from Master of Cycles to the mentorship program, which is happening in November 2020. And if you want to register for this mentorship program, November 2020, it's going to be simply amazing. So do that. We have some early birds running right now, so you can register for the mentorship. You can visit the website wavestrategy.com and mentorship. Okay, so and a lot of information you will get it on the board over there. Now let us proceed further. On the Master of Cycles, we did some astonishing studies. This time, to be very honest, this was one of the best sessions that I have taken, which was not wave theory. Okay, I've been expert on the Elliott wave or the new wave or a learner to be honest, not an expert. I would say I'm a learner on the Elliott and the Neowave side, but now I have or I've been doing decades of research on time cycles, but this is for the first time I've shared across in the 2 days of time period. And then like Chaitanya shared across, it was eye opener. This was simply fabulous. The way we looked at the market, the way we looked how everything moved. And now from there, we will move on to the mentorship program in November. We are going to see a lot of things over the period of 3 months of time. And I'm sure you are going to be thrilled across if you are going to listen to me for 3 months of time. Okay, let's move on. Last week when we spoke, we saw a huge correction on the markets on Nifty, which corrected sharply on the downside right from that level of 11,794. We saw it going down towards 10,790. The fall of 325 points on last Thursday, and then we started recovering back in this week. My point is, are we resulting into a bull trap? Is it going to be trapping the bulls on the upside, or are we starting a fresh leg on the upside? So how do we take a call on that? Where are we headed? One very important observation I had was Bank Nifty was extremely oversold. On Bank Nifty, we clearly saw a huge move on the downside right from that levels of around 25,000. It went all the way towards 20,500 or 400 odd levels before it reversed back on the upside. Now that move was sufficient sharp fall, and this was one of the biggest decline that we saw on the charts of Bank Nifty. And post that, we are now seeing a pullback on Bank Nifty, which was anyways due to happen. It's good, let it pull back so that there is another opportunity that exists. Before I move on, let me now first launch the very much what we are doing every Friday at 4. We are doing the mentorship, sorry, not the mentorship. We are doing the Nifty trend polling, which is a Nifty trend in the coming week. So do share across. Where do you think Nifty is going to go right from here on in the coming week? Is it going to be closing by the coming week? I'm talking by the coming week. You expect Nifty to go down, or you expect Nifty to go up by the coming week? What is your stand? Is it going to go up by Friday, next Friday, or is it going to go down? We are going to know. The sentiments have worked out extremely well on most of the occasions, and I will share across this polling result also. I know last time I think I forgot to do that, but I will share across this polling result, so don't worry on that. And we will be seeing a very classic study today, which is known as an FLD, which we derived over the period of 2 days in MOC. So I'm going to talk about that a bit now, so that it is in continuation to the learning that we was there previously. So where do you think is Nifty headed? I have few more participants to be doing the polling now, and it's getting tilted towards, I don't want to say anything. Let's the poll get over, and we will see where is Nifty headed as per the polling that we are seeing right now. And someone is talking about Trump factor may change the things. President Trump tested COVID positive. Okay, if you think, Vinay, that COVID is the reason why the market goes up or down, why are Nifty here at 11,500 levels still? Why have we not crashed with the rise in the COVID cases? Even now, 80,000 cases daily, right? Why are we not crashing on the downside? That's the question you should ask. If President Trump has tested positive, is it going to result into a sympathetic voting in his favor? Do you think Americans are sympathetic, or is he trying to polarize the election right now? So that's the question you should be asking to yourself. Is it how genuine it is? And if it is genuine, is it a concern that he's tested positive, or is it for sympathy? A bullish person might look at it in either of the he might look at a negative news and try to say he's bullish. Bearish person might look at a positive news and still come out with a bearish scenario out of it. So it can be either way. Okay, let's stop the polling now. And here it is. I'm going to share it across. The results are in front of you. Very interesting. We have an up which is 42%, and we have a down which is 58%. I'm sure every one of you are actually doing this because you are looking at SGX. If SGX is negative, the polling goes negative. Is it? Don't do it that way, because we have seen how many times the SGX Nifty has failed to show the correct direction of Nifty by next Friday. But we have still more number of people on the bearish side than on the bullish side. So that is very interesting. We will see in the week. One thing is very sure. This polling has actually been right most of the occasions. People who are attending my webinar Friday at 4 have been right on most of the occasions, and I'm glad that you are on the right side of the trend. Okay, let's just check the charts now and let's see where are we headed. So it's a easy day, easy going, and let's just enjoy the ride and see the charts right now of Nifty, what is happening around Nifty, and where are we as of now on Nifty. So that's what we are going to do. I'm going to showcase, okay, let me hide myself from here, and let me remove a few indicator, and then I'll put it again on that side. Let me showcase you, which I've been doing it for quite some time. And how many of you, if I have to ask you, how many of you have been able to understand last time? Did I show you that the market is trying to repeat what happened in March, Feb, March? Did I share across with you what happened in Feb, March? And the markets are actually trying to do that even again, what happened there. So if I have to mark here, and this is what I said, that the markets are in this repeated fractal nature. And look at the markets right now. Don't you see it's a classic resemblance? So far, so good. It's a classic resemblance of how the markets are looking right now. And this is known as a fractal nature. Isn't that very, very interesting? Fractal nature, it's how it is behaved at that point of time and how it's behaving this time. Can you see this pattern here? And can you see this thing here? Amazing. Can you see a break below the prior two lows? Can you see the break below the prior two lows that we saw on the chart? Can I say it's a very classic resemblance to what we had in the past? I called it like a distribution phase of the market. That's what happened. And this is an assumption of a distribution phase of the market. This is an assumption. It's a distribution or not, we will see. Also, I'm again repeating, this webinar is for educational purpose only. Look at it from learning perspective. Whatever we are discussing is from the respect of index. And this is purely from learning perspective. I'm not recommending a buy or a sell or any kind of a recommendation, but just from learning perspective, what is a fractal nature, what is FLDs, how to combine neo wave, times, and all of those things. Okay. Right now, okay, that's interesting. Karan wants to change his polling selection after what I have showed. So maybe, Karan, I think you marked bullish and now you want to change your stand to bearish. No, you're not allowed to do that. No changing of the stand. But a very important point, everyone, I want you to look at this thing so carefully. I'm clearing off. Okay, let me just save it across first. And I'll be sharing this across on the Twitter at the rate Kyala Ashish. So do ensure you follow me on Twitter and Telegram, AK Trading Gurukul. The reason I'm telling you, because wherever I'm speaking tomorrow, day after, summit, everything is on Twitter. I keep tweeting across. So do that. Let's get back here. Look at this specific candle, which is a outside big bearish red candle. This candle, look at it, it's an outside big bearish red candle. After that, we saw a move on the downside, a very big sell-off which continued down, a temporary pullback which was sharp. Look at the first 3 days of pullback. It was sharp and fast. It was very clear, and that's why we see a very clear, sharp and fast pullback on the upside. So it's very important you understand the market very clearly. Same stuff here now, what we are seeing, a sharp and fast pullback. That's why it is okay to understand this thing, and it's very crucial that you respect what has happened in the history. You keep a very, very clear uh, chart understanding. So let me just clear it off for you and make it very much interesting right now. If you are looking at this chart, the sharp move went up and then abruptly stopped. Okay, same stuff here. I will not be surprised if this abruptly stops and we start seeing a move on the downside, some consolidation, and then a break on the downside. If this happens, we will have a classic repeat of 20 March 2020. So this will be a repeat of what we saw here. As of now, there is no confirmation. I'm again repeating, we do not have a confirmation, but it's time to be not complacent. It's time to be not complacent. What is complacent means? Complacent means you have purchased the stock, अभी खरीद लिया, and you are like, okay, the markets तो ऊपर जाएगा ही, एक दो दिन गिरेगा, and then again it will go up. That's complacency. That's what you think markets ऊपर ही जाना है. There is nowhere where the markets can go but up. That's complacency. Alert means what? Alert means if it breaks certain levels, you will be not thinking twice before taking a trade. Or you will have a long position, you will not think twice before getting out immediately. So that's someone who is alert, who knows his risk, and who knows market can move extremely fast and quick. Okay. So that's what I am looking at. The markets are repeating. Let me now show you one cycle which I follow for many years. Over the period of years, I have followed that cycle. Can anyone tell me what is that cycle? Over the period of years, that the cycles that we follow, what is that cycle that I follow? Is 55 days cycle. Okay, I've seen a lot of people, Subhash, Chaitanya. No, guys, that's a cheating. You can't tell that. After attending MOC, we discussed much in detail about 55 days. So you can't really do that. Let's other contribute uh, to that. Okay. Someone is saying, Rakesh Junjunwala is saying bull market is in progress. We will see that in the summit. We will see that what he has to say. I will present my view and he will give his. So we will see that. It's going to be a very interesting summit. Okay, let's just, and as I said, use the code Ashish K 2020, Ashish K 2020 for the discount on that summit. Let's move on. As I said, I'm going to show you a cycle which I use. That cycle low was formed over here, which was over here. The another cycle low was which I have been following and which I have been using very rigorously, formed another low which happened at this point of time, and one more low which was formed in the middle of this entire session, entire moves was here. Now this cycle low is broken on the downside. If the cycle low is broken on the downside, uh, if you can clearly see here, if you can clearly see, can I say the cycle actually topped out on the left side of the face? Everyone who was there on the MOCs will agree with me that this phenomena of a cycle is known as what? Left translation. Do you agree with me who were there for the Master of Cycles program last week? And it was fabulous, guys. I really loved talking to you all. Devashish, glad Chaitanya, you were there. So it's a left translation. That's a one confirmation for me that the bigger cycle might have turned on the downside. How do I know for how long this is going to be valid? As long as the level of 11,794 remains intact, even by a fraction, I will stick with my entire belief system of the cyclicality. If it breaks, then a lower probable scenario turns back on the upside. It's all about probability. There is no certainty. Always remember, when you're looking at the markets, it always is a probability. There is no certainty in the markets. It's all probable. If someone comes to you and says, boss, I'm 100% sure the stock is going to go up or down, trust me, he is either a novice who has no clue how the market moves, or he is too arrogant and the market is going to anyways punish him. So you need to keep a very clear understanding that 11,794 is the high. How did I derive it? I did not. It's a cycle which topped out. How do I know? Because the low of the cycle is decisively broken on the downside. So for nearly around 20-25 days, the high should not be broken now. Okay, that's what my understanding based on cycle left translation is. So that's a first proof to confirm that the cycles have been in sell mode. For buying this market, you need some guts. I'm not doing that because I think it's a risky business. I might miss a trend on the upside. Fair enough. I don't want to capture all the trends on the up or the downside. I want to be like a hawk, waiting for the right opportunity. And when the synchronization of my indicators happen, jump and dive in. That's what you should be doing. Wait for the classic right opportunity. And when that comes, you pull the trigger. But when it's not that, don't keep jumping up and down. That's what my suggestion and advice to you is. Forget about what everyone talks about. Look at the charts. What is chart telling you? Try to look and learn from that. Let me now show you another indicator which we developed in the last Master of Cycles program. I'm going to do that right now in front of you, which is known as a displaced moving average. Okay, and can someone tell me from the MOC's batch again, guys? I love that batch, so that's why I'm asking them the same thing again and again. What should be the time period if I have to measure a 55-day cycle? Tell me what should be the displacement value of an FLD. Can you tell me what should be the displacement value, Ritesh, Nilesh? Absolutely. And people who are watching on me on YouTube, live on YouTube at the rate Kyala Ashish, please punch in your answers. What should be the value for the FLDs? How it is derived? If I have to tell you how it is derived, it is simply the periodicity divided by 2 plus 1 rounded up to the next number. So if I divide 55 by 2 and I add 1 to that, I get what? That's what the periodicity should be for an FLD. Now, what is an FLD? For example, our FLD is nothing but a future lines of demarcation. Okay, and that is what we are going to do now. So I'm going to displace the moving average by 29 days in the front. Let's just see that. That's the beauty of this indicator. Okay, when this indicator acts as a support to the prices, how do I know that? When it acts as a support, it works brilliantly. When it acts as a resistance, it works brilliantly. But when it is cut, it works even more amazing. Okay, why do I say that? Let's see the past. So the best way you can learn technical analysis is simply see the past and see if it has worked for you in the past. If it has worked for you in the past, it should work now. That's an assumption. Let's just see that happening again here. Okay, we have an FLD which is cut over here and see the up move. Oh, that's a brilliant up move which worked well. Can I say it worked as a classic support here? Classic support here, just a whipsaw. But when it was cut here, can you see that move down? Resistance near the FLD and the downtrend started. Let's just check here. When it is cut on the upside, this point we got a classic move on the upside. Then it started acting as a support. Can you see the supports here? Brilliant. Support here, brilliant. But when it is cut, this move was exactly that we saw on the downside, bang on move. And now we are rushing back to the zone of, what is the zone that we call, guys? What is this zone we call in the terms of first time cycles? What is this zone that we call in the terms of first time cycles? We call this zone as a hookup, which we call it as a pause. And we are going to take a pause in this zone based on the cycle analysis. And once the pause is over, we know how it's going to behave. Now that cycle analysis that we are doing right now is known as a Hurst cycle analysis using FLDs. This is known as FLDs, which is future line of demarcation. Yes, that's a very interesting study. And this is the indicator I told I'm going to talk about how it's going to behave on the upside or on the downside. Are you with me? Are you understanding very clearly? Am I audible to each one of you? Are you able to get what I mean by this? This line is known as a future line of demarcation. It's an indicator which is derived by using time cycles. And this indicator is an independent study from prices. It tells, sorry, not independent from prices, but independent the way you analyze the market. So it's going to be very, very interesting aspect which we are seeing on the chart. If I clear the screen again and I show you this chart again, what I'm trying to tell you, can I say this simple? Okay, forget about FLD. Do you know this average? This is a 21 days average. How did this 21 days average behaved? It acted as a classic resistance in the past and then started acting as a superb support. Okay, it was whipsawing a bit, but still, that's how it behaved. It acted as a classic support in the past. Now we are right now trying to break above it. If we push back again this support level, it is going to be acting as a very important resistance. So what I am trying to say here is we have entered into again a very important week where if the low gets broken here, that low is going to be a chaotic
low, so it will result into a chaos. So that's why I'm calling it as a chaotic point. I'm labeling it as a chaotic point. So that becomes a very important level. If I look at this high, it's a very important level, which we have to look at this. If it this breaks, then we are going to look at a maniac levels. When I say maniac, it indicates a mania, and when I say chaotic, it indicates a panic. Now you might end up thinking I'm giving you 1,000 point rates. What's the point? No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to fool around. I'm just trying to tell you very importantly, if you're an option writer, you know the levels now. A smart trader understands these things very clearly. And if you are a option buyer, you know if you are stuck in this range, you are not going to make money. That is for sure. And if you are a trend follower guy, and you follow the FLDs, you know how it's classically going to behave and how. So go back on that 60 minutes chart or a 15 minutes chart where he derived these FLDs and get ready now. We are going to see something major movement happening in the coming week, and majority will be surprised. Again, that's what I'm making out. The reason being, markets are, I think, in a sell mode. We are showing a pullback on the upside. Once this pullback is done, the downtrend should resume. But for now, wait for the supports to be taken out. What are these support levels will be mentioned in the morning research of the Financial Waves short-term update, which you can subscribe from wavestrategy.com. That's what I wanted to talk about right now with respect to what the markets are doing. Am I making sense to you? Okay, before we go down, let me just launch one more poll. Will you be interested in the mentorship, joining that program on the mentorship November 2020, a 3 months of program where we will be deep diving into right from how to look at markets. It will include master of technical analysis, master of waves, Elliott wave. It does not matter if you are a fresher, if you are already a trader, you are a housewife, it is irrespective of that, because the session is going to be an eye opener for Saturdays. And many of the existing mentees who are there right now on this webinar are already missing those Saturdays. So I know it's going to be very interesting. So if you want to join me for that mentorship program. By the time you do the polling, okay, there is a question which is asking about, just a second, are we in wave G or complete long ago? Okay, Sunil, I think we are not in G. We have formed some double corrective pattern. And I think we are in extracting triangle pattern right now. That's what it looks like. And in the extracting triangle pattern, we are currently at a wave E is going to complete soon. That's what it looks like. But as of now, we need to wait for the bar technique confirmation, which we discussed a lot. And once the bar technique confirmation, which we discussed a lot, and once the bar technique confirms, the weekly bars confirms, the daily ones confirms, we know that now there is no stopping. So we will see that. Okay, I'm keeping a close watch in this zone. This is the zone where we have stopped earlier. This is the zone where we can stop now. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Ajay, my team will get in touch with you. You can simply say yes on the mentorship program. And I see a lot of people being interested for this program. So my team will get in touch, explain you the entire process. Do that, and you are simply going to enjoy the ride. Trust me on that. Okay, fantastic. The next question I have is, which sectors will lead the fall? Shailendra, that's a very interesting aspect. I think Bank Nifty has some pullback pending. Bank Nifty was the one which showed a very sharp fall. So Bank Nifty might show some outperformance. It is still overdue. So it will show some outperformance. I think Bank Nifty can outperform over a short period of time. Once that is done, then the sectors will align together, and this time the sectors can be any and every sectors which will follow the suit. It's not going to be one or two sectors responsible. Everything can follow the suit. Okay, so that's going to happen. We will see that. Let's first turn back. Let's, once we turn down, keep following me on Friday at 4. We will show it to you on that front. Okay, what is the next question? I'm not going to give you a stock specific idea or stock specific level, or those things we are not discussing in this webinar. uh, okay, Debashish has some interesting study. He's saying the copper had a burst yesterday with a huge downside. A very important observation. intermarket analysis do work extremely well. So keep looking at international markets for sure. Metals and everything do work well. So do that. This fall is going to be clear. Okay, where can we find the FLD, Sandeep? I think if you're there on the MOC, you will know that where to find FLD, how to plot it, how to do it. I'll explain it on the. I've explained it again on the MOC thing for all the people who are there on the MOCs if required. If need be, we will do that again. So don't worry on that. My team will explain you, Sandeep, on that how to plot it if you are having any challenges with respect to that. Okay, guys, fantastic. Let's just wind it up for today. I think it was more. I'm ending the mentorship poll for now. I think we had an amazing week. We had a good move on the downside. We have a sharp rally on the upside. The way I'm seeing it, this can be a trap unless we try to break out of this net. I'm calling it as a net because net is what traps the fishes together. So if it's a net, it is going to trap the bulls. If it's not, then let the bulls break the net, get out of the wall, get out of 11,794. Then we will see on riding the pullbacks on the upside. But if that does not happen and the bull fails the power now, the bears are gaining some momentum. You need to be careful on that. If the support level breaks, you are going to see some chaotic sell off if the support level breaks. So I'm making my stand very clear. Okay, so stay tuned. Keep watching this webinar. Again, is going to be there on the YouTube at the rate Kailash. So subscribe to that and the Telegram. I'll share across this again on the Telegram with the FLD chart, which we just now did. AK Trading Gurukul. I'll share it there. And if you want to join me tomorrow for that for summit, that's not a summit, that's a Refinitiv program. Do let me know. Inform my team. They will send you the invite. And if do join me for the CMT summit, which is happening on next weekend, and do share across the code AshishK 2020 for the debt discount voucher. And it's going to be a very interesting where I'm going to talk about why I am bearish. Maybe RJ is bullish. We are going to have some interesting insights there. Fantastic, guys. Thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend. If you want to travel and meet me or have a session here in Lonavala at Cloud9, feel free to travel down. The resort is open. I'm thoroughly enjoying the weather here. It's all cloudy and foggy. So do come down. cloud9lonavala.com is the website. All information from there. You can contact my team on 99204 22202. Have a wonderful day and wonderful time. We are going to have some roller coaster ride in the coming week. Stay tuned. Stay protected from both the COVID and the markets. Thank you very much. Ashish Kyal signing off.